a sleek, black cube suddenly appears in the desert, perfectly intact and utterly out of place. No one knows where it came from or why it's there. Could this mysterious object be an ancient artifact, a high-tech anomaly, or something far stranger? What's the true story behind this enigma? 1. Mysterious black alien cube moves across the Sahara Desert. Imagine spotting a massive black cube, seemingly alien in origin, moving across the vast sands of the Sahara Desert. That's what some witnesses claim is happening right now. This bizarre, otherworldly object is said to be slowly shifting across the desert, and no one knows exactly what it is or where it came from. The cube's size is staggering, large enough to tower over anyone standing next to it, and it's reportedly leaving tracks in the sand as it moves. Some believe it's a top-secret military experiment, while others are leaning into the alien theories, suggesting it could be extraterrestrial technology. Though no official explanation has surfaced, this moving black cube has stirred up a lot of curiosity, with people wondering if it's just the beginning of something even bigger. Could it really be something not from this world? Only time will tell. 2. The mysterious case of the moving rocks. The moving rocks of Racetrack Playa in Death Valley have stumped people for decades. We're talking huge rocks, some weighing up to 400 pounds, that mysteriously drift across the desert floor, leaving long trails behind. Miners first noticed the odd movement in the 1940s, and since then, scientists have been trying to crack the mystery. In 2013, they set up cameras and GPS trackers, concluding that a mix of wind, water, and ice nudges the rocks along. But not everyone's convinced. Cue the UFO theories. Some say electromagnetic fields caused by alien activity are behind the mysterious movements. In fact, filmmaker Gavin Heffernan reported seeing strange lights swirling in the night sky over the playa in January 2013, just as scientists were conducting their study. His footage of glowing orbs hovering above the valley has fueled wild theories that there's something more otherworldly at play. So, are the rocks just riding a natural desert slip and slide, or is something stranger going on? That's still up for debate.
Some of these rocks are heavy. They can easily be 300 to 400 pounds. They've actually been pushed by some force across these dry lake beds.
3. The Black Stone of Mecca. According to Islamic tradition, the Black Stone of Mecca originally came from the Gardens of Heaven. Some even believe an angel brought it down to earth. Legend says it fell from the sky on the very day Adam ate the forbidden fruit, and originally marked the spot where the first temple was built. Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. Over time, the stone was lost during Noah's flood, only to be rediscovered by Abraham, who placed it in the Kaaba as a sacred marker. Fast forward to Prophet Muhammad's time, and when the Kaaba was being rebuilt, he personally returned the black stone to its rightful place. Now, it's a powerful symbol of faith. Pilgrims visiting Mecca during Hajj try to touch or kiss the stone, believing it holds a deep connection to heaven. With a story involving angels, prophets, and ancient floods, it's easy to see why this stone is so revered.
The eastern corner of the shrine is perhaps the most sacred stone in all the world. The Black Stone of Mecca.
For the world's 1.8 billion Muslims, this stone is crucial. When Muslims face in the direction of Mecca, they face in the direction of that stone.
4. The Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. The stone spheres of Costa Rica are like something out of a mystery novel. These perfectly round stones, some as large as 8 feet across and weighing tons, are scattered throughout the Tequis Delta and other areas. Discovered in the 1930s by workers clearing land for banana plantations, they've sparked all sorts of theories and myths. Rumor has it that some of these stones might even contain gold, and while more than 300 spheres were reportedly found, their exact purpose remains a mystery. Some people believe ancient locals knew how to soften or mold the stones, while others think they might have come from Atlantis. Some local chieftains were even buried with smaller versions of these stones, adding a touch of ancient royalty to the story. There's also a wild theory that they were cannonballs fired by a god of thunder to scare off cirques that harassed locals.
In the 1930s, the United Fruit Company was clearing this land for banana plantations. Now the workers, as they were clearing the area, were running into these spheres and the archaeological sites that exist here today, and they would just move them aside, not really caring. Now, rumors of gold existing inside those spheres prompted workers to do things like drill holes into the spheres and dynamite them, blowing them up in hopes of finding gold. Of course, they never did.
5. The underwater city of Yonaguni. Located off the coast of Yonaguni in Japan's Ryukyu Islands and 100 feet underwater lies a submerged city. Discovered in 1987 by a diver, the underwater city of Yonaguni features large terraces, steps, and straight paths that look almost man-made. Some believe it could be the remains of the ancient civilization of Yamatai, a legendary place mentioned in Japanese history but never clearly located. According to ancient texts, Yamatai was ruled by the mysterious Queen Himiko, who was said to have wielded significant power and influence. While there's no solid proof linking the site to Yamatai, it sure does add to the mystery of the city. The precise angles and shapes of the structures make it hard to dismiss as just a natural formation. But more recent theories suggest that tectonic shifting might actually be behind the formations. Japan's seismic activity could have caused the ground to shift and create these unusual shapes.
There's a theory that the video is evidence of an ancient Japanese civilization known as Yamatai. It's said to have been a large, powerful nation that was wiped off the face of the world when sea waters rose and their cities were buried under ocean water.
6. The London Hammer. The London Hammer is quite the oddity. It was unearthed in 1934 by a couple in London, Texas, who found it embedded in a chunk of rock, supposedly dating back to the Cretaceous period around 100 million years ago. The hammer itself looks pretty normal, except for the fact that it's made of materials and has a design that suggests it's from the 19th or early 20th century. It has a wooden handle and a metal head, which seems out of place when you consider its supposed age. The rock where it was found is millions of years old, which has led to all sorts of theories and debates. Adding to the mystery, part of the hammer is undergoing a process called coalification, which is a stage where organic materials turn into coal. This shouldn't happen to something from such a recent era. Many think it might be a hoax, while others speculate about ancient technologies or errors in dating. 7. The Main Viking Penny. The Main Viking Penny, also known as the Goddard coin, is a real head-turner with a bit of a mix-up in its backstory. Found in Maine in 1957, this little silver coin has a dragon on one side and a cross on the other. Initially, it was thought to be from medieval England, but guess what? It's actually a Norwegian penny from the reign of King Olaf Kyrre, who ruled Norway from 1067 to 1093 AD. What's really intriguing is that despite this cool find, no other Viking artifacts have been discovered in the area. So the big question is, how did this Norse coin end up in Maine? Was it brought by a lone Viking explorer, or is it a clue to an earlier transoceanic voyage? 8. The Eye of the Sahara. The Eye of the Sahara, also known as the Richat structure, has sparked lots of buzz about whether it might be the mythical Atlantis. First spotted from the air in the 1960s by French researchers, this massive circular formation stretches about 40 kilometers across and really stands out in the desert landscape. So why all the Atlantis speculation? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The Sahara wasn't always a barren desert. It used to be a lush green region, and around the Richat structure, scientists have found sea life fossils, like mollusks, hinting that it was once underwater. The structure also shows signs of extreme water erosion, which some think could connect to the story of Atlantis being wiped out by a giant flood. Even though most experts believe it's just a natural geological feature, the Eye of the Sahara continues to capture our imagination and fuel theories about ancient mysteries.
The astronauts spotted something that looked like an enormous 30-mile-wide circular shape, which had a center surrounded by concentric rings of stone and sand. And it looked just like a giant eye from all the way up in space. Hence, it came to be known as the Eye of the Sahara.
9. The Vanishing Metal Pillar. In late 2020, a mysterious metal pillar appeared in the desert of Utah, capturing worldwide attention. The sleek, reflective structure, about 10 to 12 feet tall, was discovered in a remote area of the Red Rock Desert by a team of biologists surveying wildlife. The pillar sparked a flurry of speculation and excitement. Was it an art installation, a piece of modern technology, or something even more mysterious? evidence. Theories ranged from secret government experiments to alien artifacts. Its sudden appearance and enigmatic nature led to a media frenzy and online debates. But just as abruptly as it appeared, the pillar vanished. A few weeks later, it was gone without a trace, leaving only the desert wind to whisper about its brief and mysterious presence. Despite the excitement it generated, no one has come forward to claim responsibility for the pillar, and its disappearance remains as puzzling as its arrival. 10. Mysterious creatures wash up on Oregon coast. Back in 2017, beachgoers in Oregon were greeted by strange, pickle-like creatures scattered all over the shore. These odd-looking critters, known as pyrosomes, are made up of hundreds of tiny organisms that usually live far out in tropical waters. But for some reason, they suddenly started washing up along the Oregon coast in huge numbers. Jim Young, a retired marine biologist, had seen a few earlier that year, but nothing on this scale. Scientists, including those from Oregon State University, suspected that warmer ocean temperatures had driven the pyrosomes north, with sightings reported as far as Canada and Alaska. Though harmless, their slimy texture unnerved some beachgoers. Researchers were concerned that if too many pyrosomes died at once, it could create a dead zone by depleting oxygen in the water, potentially harming other marine life. Scientists kept a close eye on the phenomenon as it unfolded.
Some reports that they on the beaches all the way up through maybe Canada, maybe up to Alaska, along the Washington and Oregon coast.
11. The Gornaya Shoria. Gornaya Shoria in southern Siberia is one of the most impressive megalithic sites you can find today. This spot is packed with huge stone blocks scattered across Mount Kuilium, which stands about 3,947 feet tall. It's all part of the Kuilium-Surak granite massif and sits around 8 kilometers from the village of Orton. The megaliths are found on the ridges and summits of this mountain, and their massive size and precise arrangement suggests they were used for some pretty important purposes, maybe even for ancient ceremonies or tracking the stars. They've been around for thousands of years, but figuring out exactly what they were used for or how they were moved is still a bit of a mystery. 12. The mysterious Marfa lights. In the remote desert near Marfa, Texas, a strange phenomenon has puzzled people for over a century. Glowing orbs that appear to dance and float on the horizon. These Marfa lights have been spotted since the 1800s, but no one can quite agree on what they are. Some describe them as flickering orbs, changing colors, while others say they dart around in unpredictable patterns. Scientists have tried to explain them as distant car headlights or atmospheric reflections, but even with modern technology, the lights remain a mystery. Local legends claim there's something more otherworldly, spirits, UFOs, or even the ghosts of long-gone travelers. Curious tourists still flock to Marfa, hoping to catch a glimpse of the lights. Whether it's natural or supernatural, the Marfa lights continue to fascinate and fuel speculation about what's really going on in that quiet stretch of desert.
The Marfa lights fall into a broader category of light phenomena we often refer to as ghost lights. Ghost lights are these anomalous sources of light that appear and disappear at random in a given area. People have no idea where they come from.
13. The Black Pyramid of Alaska. Deep beneath Alaska's remote wilderness, rumors swirl about a massive black pyramid hidden underground. Some claim it was first detected in 1992 during a Chinese nuclear test that accidentally uncovered this enormous structure, said to be even bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Things got even more mysterious when a whistleblower, a retired military official, came forward with claims that the US government has been secretly studying the pyramid for years. According to him, the structure isn't man-made at all, but possibly of extraterrestrial origin, sparking theories that it could house alien technology or serve as a power source. What's even stranger is that this area is known for its lack of magnetic activity. Planes flying over the pyramid reported no magnetic interference, a baffling phenomenon that only deepens the mystery. While the government keeps mum, the Black Pyramid of Alaska continues to spark debates and wild theories about its true origins and purpose.
Alaskan Black Pyramid. The message itself was destined for at least 10 or 15 different commanders within our vicinity of different units. We all read the message, and it pretty much gave longitude and latitude of where this Alaskan Black Pyramid was.
14. The unfinished obelisk. In the quarries of Aswan, Egypt, you'll find a real marvel, the unfinished obelisk. This massive slab of granite was meant to be the biggest obelisk ever, but it's still half buried in the bedrock. Imagine a giant stone pillar that's about 42 meters long and would have weighed around 100 to 200 tons if it was finished. The project ran into trouble when cracks appeared in the stone, so the ancient Egyptians had to abandon it. But here's the cool part. This unfinished masterpiece gives us a sneak peek into how they did their stone carving. You can actually see the marks from their tools and get a sense of their meticulous process. Even though it never made it to completion, the unfinished obelisk remains a fascinating piece of history, showing off the incredible skills of ancient Egyptian builders. 15. The ghost ship SS Orang Medan. The tale of the SS Orang Medan is one of the eeriest maritime mysteries ever recorded. In the 1940s, this Indonesian cargo ship was said to have sent out a chilling distress signal. All officers, including captain, are dead. Lies in chart room and on deck. Probably whole crew dead. Then silence. When rescuers finally reached the ship, they were met with a horrifying sight. The crew lay dead, their faces frozen in expressions of sheer terror. There were no signs of violence or illness, and strangely, the ship itself seemed to be in good condition. The mystery deepened when, shortly after the rescuers boarded, a fire broke out and the Orang Medan sank into the sea. Some speculate it was a secret cargo of dangerous chemicals or even supernatural forces.
With a number of listening stations, picked up the strange distress signal that was coming from somewhere in the Indian Ocean. The distress signal, which was in Morse code, went like this.
An officer, including the captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead.
Then there was a burst of indecipherable Morse code, and then it ended with 2 words.
I die.
Then silence.
16. The lost city of Aten. In 2021, a major discovery was made in Egypt, the ancient city of Aten, also known as the Lost Golden City. This city, dating back to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III around 3,400 years ago, was unearthed near Luxor. It's one of the most significant archaeological finds in recent decades. Aten was a bustling hub during its time, filled with residential and administrative buildings. The site includes well-preserved streets, houses, and even artifacts like pottery and tools. It gives us a rare glimpse into daily life in ancient Egypt, from the layout of homes to the types of objects people used. 17. The ancient underground city in Turkey. In the heart of Turkey, the Cappadocia region is home to one of the most mind-blowing rock formations and hidden wonders on the planet. Imagine a landscape dotted with surreal, cone-shaped rock formations that look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But what's even more incredible is what lies beneath this unique terrain, a sprawling underground city. This subterranean city is a true marvel of ancient engineering. Hidden beneath the rocky surface, it's a labyrinth of tunnels, rooms, and passageways that stretches out for miles. The city was likely carved out of the soft volcanic rock found in the region and was used for shelter and protection, especially during times of conflict. What's fascinating is that this underground metropolis has multiple levels, with some parts going as deep as 60 meters below ground. It even has complex ventilation systems to ensure fresh air reaches its inhabitants. 18. The Paracas Skulls. In Peru's Paracas Peninsula, archaeologists have unearthed some truly unusual skulls that have everyone talking. These Paracas skulls, found in ancient burial sites, are known for their elongated shapes, which look quite different from what we're used to seeing. Dating back to around 800–100 BCE, these skulls show evidence of a fascinating cultural practice, cranial shaping. This wasn't a genetic mutation, but a result of intentional deformation. During infancy, the skulls were bound or wrapped tightly to achieve that distinctive, elongated look. This practice was likely a mark of nobility or social status in ancient Paracas society. While some theories have tried to link the unusual shape of these skulls to extraterrestrial beings, there's no solid evidence for this. 19. The Shigir Idol of Siberia. The Shigir Idol is like a real-life time capsule from the ancient world. Discovered back in 1890 in a Siberian peat bog, This wooden sculpture is a whopping 12,850 years old, making it one of the oldest wooden statues ever found. Standing about 9.5 feet tall, the Shigeru idol is covered in incredibly intricate carvings. These patterns and symbols have left archaeologists scratching their heads, trying to figure out what they meant to the people who created it. It's believed these designs reflect early beliefs or rituals, hinting that the idol was a big deal in their spiritual or social life. What's really interesting is that the bog where it was found preserved it almost perfectly, giving us a rare peek into the art and spiritual life of our ancient ancestors in Siberia. The Shigeru idol continues to be a fascinating link to our distant past and the mysteries it holds. 20. The Devil's Kettle. Located in Minnesota's Judge C.R. Magny State Park, Devil's Kettle is a waterfall with a peculiar twist. One side of the river flows into a large circular hole that seems to swallow up the water without any visible exit. It's like nature's own magic trick. Where does the water go? The hole, known as the Devil's Kettle, has confused visitors and scientists alike. Despite various attempts to trace the water's path, including dropping dye and using underwater cameras, no one has been able to conclusively track where the water ends up. Theories range from the water seeping into underground caves to disappearing into an elaborate subterranean system. Local legends claim that the kettle was a place where ancient tribes performed rituals, or even where the devil himself might have made his home.
People have tried to figure this out. Scientists have dumped dyes, hundreds of ping pong balls, GPS trackers. They've even just shoved logs into this hole. The expectation is that it would come up somewhere in Lake Superior.
21. The Hand of the Desert. In the Atacama Desert of Chile, there's a giant sculpture that's impossible to miss. The Hand of the Desert. This colossal 36-foot-tall sculpture of a hand rising from the sand was created by Chilean artist Mario Irarrázaval in 1992. It's located in one of the driest places on Earth, making it a striking contrast against the barren landscape. The hand's eerie, almost surreal appearance has made it a popular spot for curious travelers and photographers. It's a bit like a giant, unexpected piece of modern art in the middle of nowhere. Despite its imposing size and unusual location, the Hand of the Desert doesn't have any grand hidden meanings. It's simply a unique piece of public art, standing as a curious landmark in the vast, empty desert. 22. The Mysterious Triangle over the USS Ford. In September 2018, a video from the Mediterranean showing an F-18 landing on the USS Ford stirred up quite a buzz. At first glance, it seemed to capture a triangular-shaped UFO floating near the aircraft carrier. This triangle shape really got people talking, because historically, UFOs have been spotted in a few distinct shapes, like cigars, saucers, and triangles. The video quickly went viral and made international news, with Iranian media even claiming it proved the US was collaborating with aliens. But when the official version of the video came out, it showed the same plane and ship, but without the UFO, leading to doubts about whether the original footage was altered. Experts like science writer Mick West pointed out some issues with the video, including strange shadow angles and a shaky object that looked like a toy model. It turns out this whole thing might just be an elaborate hoax, possibly used to stir up mistrust and anger.
Look at those shadows.
The sun's rays are all parallel. They're all the same angle, like that helicopter angle. But if we go to here, it actually needs to rotate to there. So they've put the shadow at the wrong angle. These all have an angle like this, and these have an angle like that.
23. Ancient predators resurface in Chile's Atacama Desert. Chile's Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, has been hiding some pretty wild secrets, like ancient predators that once ruled the seas. Recently, paleontologists have uncovered fossils of massive marine creatures that lived millions of years ago, back when the desert was actually underwater. These fossils include shark-like predators, some resembling today's great white sharks, but even bigger. We're talking about prehistoric beasts like the megalodon, whose sharp, jagged teeth were perfect for taking down prey in ancient oceans. It's kind of mind-blowing to think that this dry, lifeless desert was once a bustling marine world. The fossils found here are helping scientists piece together what life was like when the Atacama was more ocean than sand, and it's giving us a glimpse into the lives of these ancient predators that once dominated the seas. With so many secrets still left to uncover, it makes you wonder what incredible discoveries discoveries are still out there, just beyond our reach.